3. Oh, we are live.
We live?
Yeah, we're live. I clicked it
Hey,
before I started the
hey.
countdown.
Oh, shoot. Hey, man, we live, man. Welcome back. It's the Holy Duo back in
Hey.
this thing on a Wednesday for this live. Appreciate you guys for stopping in, man. We got a couple topics for you guys. As always, make sure you subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button. I am your man, Eddie Ed.
Hey, folks. The one and only dialogue. You know what it is. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you are. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a little bit extra, but thank you guys for joining us, man. We hope you guys are having a good night. Make sure you subscribe. If you're watching the playback, definitely subscribe. It's free. Also, smash the like button because it's gonna be crazy. We're here to some topics here. We got I already forgot the movie already. The Sound of Freedom gets some heat in many different angles. Why doesn't Hollywood want it to be shown? Is it because they're getting blown out of the waters in the box office? We're going to jump into that. We have blind guy gets accused of looking at lady model in the gym. Okay? We're going to dive into that. And then we have different types of believers and looking at different ways the cycle happens. So let's hop straight into it, man.
All right. Which
What
one
do
do
you
you
wanna
want to
hear
do first? Oh, you're asking me.
I'll just asking you.
Let's do the Sound of
Um,
Freedom one, man. Let's do the Sound of Freedom
Okay,
one.
that's the big one. That's the big
That's
one.
a
Let's go.
huge one. Let's do that. All right.
Let's go. It's gonna be good, man.
All right. All right. Ready your ears, my people. Let's play this.
Have you seen the movie yet?
So a lot of people have asked me this.
Yeah.
As a new mom, I don't think I can emotionally handle it just
Okay,
because of the
that's fair.
subject matter. And I cry during Pixar movies. I'd be a total mess.
Well, have you seen Elemental?
Yes, I did
You
get it. I didn't even like the movie. I got teary-eyed. I'm very, very
Okay.
easy.
So I saw the movie. So here's what happens. We're in Bahamas, and we're trying to find a movie theater to go see this. We can't find it. Finally, Tikran finds the movie, and we're like, shit, we're going with 25 of us, and the kids want to watch Indiana Jones. What do we do? So Indiana Jones is playing at 1 o'clock. Sound of Freedom's playing at 2 o'clock. Good news, Indiana Jones is a 2.5-hour movie, which is great because we got like a 30 minutes. So we go into Indiana Jones. We're watching Indiana Jones, and then me, Matt Sapala, Sheena, Tikran, we sneak out, and we go to White Sound of Freedom. We're sitting there. And from the beginning, you're going to feel the pain of the father taking his kids, a daughter and a son, who is approached by a recruiter saying, your kids can be models, they can be in movies. He says, tonight, audition is at such and such time. Today, tomorrow's audition is such and such time. Father dresses in a suit, takes them to this room, and he takes the kids there. They're excited. Put the kids in the room, and the girl says, come back to pick them up at 7 o'clock. He says, what do you mean? Come back to pick them up at 7 o'clock. He leaves, comes back 7 o'clock. No one's there.
Shut down.
That's how the movie starts.
Yeah.
By the way, it's disturbing, it's emotional, it's tough, it's painful. At the end, Jim Caviezel gives a message. When the movie ends, 3 minutes later, he's given a message, profound message that you have to watch. The stats that they gave, that 20+ million child pornography pictures were uploaded on the internet the last year, a 5,000% increase in the last 5 years. The idea where they said every year 2 million kids go into trafficking, going into being sold in the black market, and then stats about how you can sell cocaine one time, but you can sell the same child 5 to 10 times a day for 10 years is what you can do. And it's a $150 billion a year industry. And Jim is in it, the story of Tim Ballard, what he did. And then while this is going on, everybody needs to go watch it. I want to watch it first. It's a decision you need to make. I want to watch it first. I know what it is to be I don't know what it is to be a mother, but I have a wife that's had 4 kids, and I know how tough it is for a mother to see it than a father. Our perspective is more protective. Yours is more, you gave birth, it's your body. I recommend everybody to go watch this thing here and share it with everyone you know, because this is really taking place. This led us to yesterday having a conversation with many of the people in Glendale that are going through the challenges they're having with GUSD. We did the Zoom yesterday. We're excited about launching the event in Glendale. The biggest concern right now is every major hotel will announce what these places are, and we'll give the names out so people know, has said no. Every Armenian hall in Glendale has said, come and do the event on what's going on with LAUSD and GUSD, with what kind of content they're trying to put in the schools. And we will announce the date here very soon. First, we're going to announce it underground because we want the right people to show up. Then I'll announce it publicly. And everyone's worried about, rioting, protesting, all this other stuff. Here's the point. While this movie comes out and is doing so well, can you show up how Rolling Stone responded to, I send you those different screenshots when I airdropped it to you, what Rolling Stone said about cuties versus this, what different platforms said about cuties versus this. And by the way, while you're looking for that, maybe show the clip of the video of what the CNN person said about this, if you know which one I'm talking about, where the CNN is asking a question. So what do you think about this movie? There's a lot of people that are saying that there's some right-wing QAnon, what do you think about this? And this guest, you should see what this guest right there, if we can make that bigger, you should see what this guest says about this movie.
Pretty familiar with him.
Watch this. Go.
Can we play this?
Of course.
Yeah.
Watch
Okay.
this.
And you seem pretty familiar with him because he doesn't really hide his association with this real wild plot that involves, drinking the blood of children and things like that.
No, he doesn't hide it at all. And you have a lot of people who are in this world of QAnon who say, oh, they don't know what that is. They've never heard of it. They're just asking questions. With somebody like Jim Caviezel, he is openly embracing it. He's openly using its catchphrases and its concepts. He's speaking at QAnon conventions. And this film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is.
And The Sound of Freedom does focus on a real issue of sex trafficking. But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tell us how those two things work together.
Sure. And the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There's something in them that is true and the rest of it is false. But the believers point to the one true thing and they say, oh, you don't believe that this particular thing is true. In terms of child trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics. They're created out of fear. And with something like Sound of Freedom, it specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites and only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. So there's a very participatory element. You're not just going to see a movie, you're just killing 2 hours on a hot day. You are helping bring down these pedophile rings and save children. Now, it's not true, but it's a very comforting and it's a very warm feeling.
You know why you have to trust this guy, Pat? He has books behind him. Anybody that sits with books,
Smart.
But notice it. If you work out, you're a white ring. You're a white supremacist, whatever. If you're, by the way, this movie was they actually have footage of everything that happened of Tim Ballard because it happened.
Did you see the movie?
I saw the movie.
Oh, you saw it? Wow.
I saw the movie, and I was telling Pat some crazy moments are where they actually had footage, undercover footage or surveillance footage of people in third world countries and stuff going up to people like a kid wanders in the street. They grab them in a van and they're gone. It's not a conspiracy theorist. And then it begs the question when people are like, why does one side want open borders? And why, if you think about it, Pat, there's a fact. 350,000 unaccompanied minors come across the border since 2021 till right now. 85,000 of them have gone missing. And then that begs the question, why is one side just like, no, the border's secure? Mayorkas, that little rat.
How to escape the heat if you don't have an air-conditioned rooms during summer. Crazy in the U.S. An ingenious college...
Rat. No, the border's open. That is just an inventory of just human beings coming in. And it's like for them to say that it's QAnon and it's fake, it's like they don't want people messing with their influx of children. It's a huge problem. And yes, they made money off this movie, but now look how many people are talking about sex trafficking and these kids, and at least somebody now is opening their mouth. And by the way, this movie was made 5 years ago. I don't know if you guys, this movie's old. Now it just
Which movie?
That
Sound of Freedom. Yeah.
nobody wanted to put it out. Go ahead, Lauren. Go ahead.
Well, it was made by Fox before the Disney acquisition. So then Disney they essentially didn't release it. They didn't want to release it. They sold it to this other studio, and the studio actually had to crowdfund to get a theatrical release. So that's kind of what's ironic about the fact that it did beat Indiana Jones at least for one weekend, is that this could have been money going to Disney, but it's also kind of suspicious. Why didn't Disney want to release this movie? Was it not in line with their branding?
And by the way, isn't
Oh.
Disney a kids?
Hold up. I mean, we know Disney does everything for money. So if they looked at this movie and they were like, yeah, it's not going to make us much money compared to some of these
Yeah.
other things, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as saying that, Disney has something to do with this specifically. Some people might, which I think is a stretch.
Yeah, because it's always like, it's always like the people that's looking for something. Oh, like, oh, look at this or look at that. Disney didn't do it. Why didn't Disney do it? I mean, because there could be something there, but may not be. It may not be. Yeah, Disney is about money and about bands, and the history of stuff that's been in Disney cartoons and stuff. You could apply that and be like, oh, look, they don't really care about kids, so that's probably why they didn't, want to do it. No more. You could find something to attach it to make it look like Disney is being villainous, or really, you can make Disney look like they're opposing the movie easily based on what we found in their creative history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they may not be doing that as we think in this instance.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there, man. I'm going to have to agree with you.
Yeah, because unfortunately, that's how we do things. Like once somebody makes like once we see somebody do something, then we attach that same thing to them. Oh, he stole that? Nah, this guy, you got to watch out. He a stealer. You know what I mean? And we have good reason. But what if he not a stealer no more? What if he changed? What about that? Or what if his focus is different in a different type of debauchery? What if you don't steal no more? What if he just I don't know, something else, But definitely because we've seen it happen one time, it's like, okay, no, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Channel, isn't it like about kids and protecting kids? So why wouldn't you want to protect kids worldwide? It's not kind of weird.
Perhaps they don't really want to.
And isn't it shocking, Lauren, that they're talking all this stuff about conspiracy? Are you trying to act like Epstein didn't have an island and flew people?
Yeah, that we know this for a fact that this happened.
He was murdered. Don't believe the hype. He was suicided himself. That's all bullshit. CNN producers getting caught left and right for pedophilia. The numbers are staggering. It's in the news. It's not reported a lot. And just perverted people, Pat. To Catch a Predator. Do you guys know that show?
Yes.
Disgusting.
We had Chris Hansen on
Wait.
here.
Guess what?
Hold
That
on.
show
Real quick, I just thought about something. Epstein was murdered?
Yeah, of course he was murdered.
Or they categorized him, or they said that he committed suicide, but he was murdered?
Yeah, he was definitely murdered. I don't know why he would off himself. No.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that made me think, right? If Epstein was murdered, right? This to tell you that he knew something, and he was a part of something, probably some group or some society, right? That is not blatantly out there. That he knew connections and who were in charge of certain things. That's how he got access to whatever he got access to, right? Because of connections. If they offed him, I think they offed him because he knew the connections. And what? If you don't want it to get out, cut off that loose end, right? So he was a loose end, I believe, because they was cracking down on him, and he was gonna give something to live the way that he wanted to live. Just like when people get, when people get out of jail, that like these most recent rappers that have gotten out, everybody assumed that they ratted. They said they gave somebody some information that was valuable, and they got them the deal. So I think that definitely if they got him, they caught him because he knew something. He knew a great connection, and they couldn't let that get out. He had to get handled before anything could happen. Because when it comes down to it, in survival, you're gonna try to do whatever you can to survive.
Yeah, yep. Um, yeah, I think when everything started to come out about him, people were like, "Nah, we gotta tie up that loose end because if he, if they put him in a position to where they're like, all right, we'll take off your
Uh-huh.
jail time if you tell us who,
Yeah.
and there are some people out there that don't believe that you have some evil people in the government. The government
Mm-hmm.
is just a tool, but the people who use that tool, some of them are demons and some of them try to do some good. Um, so yeah, man, this is right along the lines of that, which the title makes sense to this video. Why doesn't Hollywood want you to see this? Um, yeah, it's interesting too that
Yeah.
that guy was trying to like tie it to political agendas, like, oh, these people are trying to tell you something that isn't real, bro. Like, the interesting thing is more quote unquote conservative people are protective of their kids because of this. You know, all the stuff that's going on in society, conservatives don't want to happen because of stuff like this. They're really watchful of their kids. And if you, for example, were to travel to a third world country, like in Nigeria, some months back in a church, a bunch of people, murderers came into the church and killed a whole bunch of people. Or was it a school? I think it was a church. They just came in there and popped everyone in there.
In Nigeria?
Yeah. Nigeria is rogue,
Dang.
man. Nigeria has some rogue groups of people.
Dang.
If
That's
if
crazy.
you're not careful in Nigeria and say you're taking the bus somewhere and say it's nighttime, they could, these robbers or thieves can just stop you in the middle of the street. Some women get raped, some people get offed, some people get kidnapped, and then their organs are harvested. Like
Oh
this
Lord.
this dude got rescued from this place that it was an abandoned building, halfway built, just cement. And you go into this building and there are chains on the wall. And there's like pots for these people to pee in. So they'll just kidnap random people in the streets, like just random people. And then they'll take you to this building and then they put you there. You can scream or whatever. No one can hear you because it's in the middle of the forest. And every day, every night, a car will randomly come and grab someone and take them away. And you find out that they were harvesting parts off these people to sell to the black market.
That's
So
crazy, bro.
not only are these kids getting, kidnapped for, for sexual things, they're actually, some of them are getting offed for parts too. It's gruesome.
That's
It's
crazy,
gruesome.
bro.
I saw a quick short, a short on, I don't know if it was on YouTube or whatever, but this kid got rescued, and the videos of a kid being tied to a tree, like, one of those zip tie things. They zip tied this kid to a tree, like he was zip tied. Like when I say zip tied, like it was squeezing his body, like he couldn't breathe properly. So when they
Oh,
undid the zip
fudge.
tie, he like stumbled forward because his blood, his circulation, everything has been
Yeah, it
cut
was
off.
Jack.
He couldn't walk, man. He was drooling and stuff. And it's like
Oh my
people
god.
don't get that this, what these news
This is
people are doing
crazy.
is bad. Yeah. So
Dang, bro.
yeah, don't let them fool you, y'all. This stuff is real, real.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Yeah. All right. You want to finish this video out? Was there a particular part you wanted to watch?
I mean, this is pretty much the meat of it. Not just commenting
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
This is just this is a thing. The movie itself, I want to go watch it. I actually wanted to go watch it this past Tuesday, but ended up watching another movie because so this is the same guy. By the way, this is the same guy that played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. I don't know if you
Yes.
know. Same
Yeah.
guy. He's a Christian. He's a fellow believer,
Mm-hmm.
and just hit him and see and he's not being and see this is I'm taking it into a little bit of a different area just for a short moment, it's just that this is the type of Christian type movies that I like because it's not corny. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's real stuff, real stories, and shown in a real way that it's not cheesy. Like, oh, they prayed and everything was better.
Yeah.
No, this is this is real stuff, and this is for a good cause, and this is to help, to inspire, to inform. It's good qualities to the movie, and I like movies like that. That even if they're not talking about God, the people that are making it believe in God and are actual, uh, you know, people that live the lifestyle and live the life. You know what I mean? And producing this type of content because I think when you have a good motive behind it, especially when you're on God's side and you're glorifying Him, it's gonna show in the movie. You know what I mean? And that's why I want y'all to go see Nefarious because Nefarious, man, that one was crazy. I thought I thoroughly enjoyed it. I saw a lot of value in the movie when it came to just really talking about how things work in a world that we can't see. I thought it made some good points. I thought it was very informative, and it wasn't your typical horror movie. Like people when you, I actually watched it. I want to go see Insidious. I don't know which one that was, but that was a horror movie. And with the horror movies, usually they have a lot of pop outs, and the sounds is what gets you. Like the the sudden sounds and stuff is really what gets you. But this wasn't that. This was a horror movie that was a real horror movie. It was just totally different. Like this is not your typical jump scare sound. It don't do that, And it wasn't even that scary. To me, it wasn't really that scary because it did none of those things I just named. It was scary in a different way, but it's definitely um consumable. Like you would not. I don't think you'll leave the movie scared. I think you'll leave the movie informed and enlightened. I really do think that. I think you would rather be like, oh shoot, oh, because it just shows you the two dynamics on how this world, what like the two dynamics that's in the world, good and evil. It shows you those two things, and it shows you how they what the relationship is.
Yeah.
Does a great job at displaying that. But back to the Sound of Freedom, it's not corny. I don't think the movie is. I haven't even seen it yet, but I don't think the movie is going to be corny. I think it's going to be a true, a real story that gives you all those qualities I named before.
Yeah. Have you heard the thing? Fiction is stranger than nonfiction. Or wait, nonfiction is stranger than fiction. Real life is stranger than fake stories, essentially. Is because you don't expect people to do stuff like this. Like when you have a bully in high school, oh, you're so mean, like you're the meanest person on earth. No. How about you meet the people who will get your kid off the streets and cut them up and sell their parts to other people just so they can make a couple $1,000, and then they'll
A
sit
couple
down and
that
yeah.
bro, it's crazy.
Yeah, this world is crazy, man. Movies do not do it just. Horror movies do not do it justice, man. Leave the demons and stuff in their dimension to do what they want to do. But when you see somebody cutting up another person, just I watched some documentaries where people, if you die and you're laying on the streets, someone just comes up and like cuts out your heart and starts eating it. They eat flesh because they have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is why I don't want to name the place because it might be controversial. But when we get off, I'll tell you. But yeah, people do be.
Dude, yeah, tell
It's
me.
sick, man. It's sick, man. People come on, cut up and eat your flesh while you're laying on the street because you passed away. No
I
one
got
will
an
say
idea of
anything.
where you might be talking about.
Yeah, yeah, you might be on point with that. So, yeah, this world is crazy, y'all. When you see this stuff, do not make it political because it's not political, right? It's not political. It's real issues. All right, let's move forward. If you have nothing else to say, man,
Oh no, we're good.
you're good. All right.
Good to go.
Next up, we've got. Well, since you named this in this order, I'm gonna go ahead and go
Yeah,
with the.
yeah. I think. Yeah, we should just hit the one that was coming in line. Yeah.
All right. So this next video, we got a blind dude who got banned from a gym because a an IG model, a girl who was working out at the gym, saw that he was staring at her, and I'll just let him tell the rest of the story. This video is from Abba and Preacher's channel, just saying that, not trying to take anyone's thunder. So y'all go
And
ahead.
how
Uh-huh.
and how is a blind man gonna get got for looking at somebody that he can't see?
Because
This is really ridiculous, bro.
the person that got him is contumbre. Whoever got him is a
That's
piece of
stupid,
biscuit.
bro.
Is a biscuit.
That is crazy.
Yes.
And
And
that's like saying I got caught for. I don't want to say but that is just wild.
yeah, no,
I don't
you
gotta,
bro.
like,
This dude got caught for smelling hot dogs and nuts in at Walmart. But yeah, what were you saying?
no, I did. Nope. But it's just ridiculous. Like, what? we didn't heard the craziest things, man, of stuff happening to people that is so ridiculous. It's like, even why did they even go through with this? How did they check this off as, oh yeah, he did this? Unless if he's really not blind and he was faking. You know what I mean? If he was faking, then
But
I'd
look,
be like,
man,
okay.
look, man. If someone has to go to that extent to look at a girl, man, let him do it, man. Cause that's humbling, bro. You walking around like you're blind. You have enough time to do that. Do your
And
thing,
look,
man.
And the way this thing's going now, who wouldn't fake like they blind? Cause it's like what's out there is like, oh, ladies and guys all want to be with somebody, but then when you go to places that you can meet them, like the gym or whatever, you get accused for looking. When just all these accusations that come with the territory of, yeah, I want to find somebody, but where you go to meet people, it's all these like restrictions. You can't come up to a lady when she's there because that might be. You can't come up to a lady at work because there might be harassment. You can't come up to a lady at a gym because that's harassment. Like, then, if everything harassment, what is the not harassment?
You bring up a very good point, man. Have you? I don't know about you, but I've heard many women talk about, oh yeah, guys won't even approach me anymore.
Why,
Like,
why do you think?
I go out, I'm dressed nicely, and guys just kind of look at me from afar. They just smile at me and go, it's like, yo, what? So you only want us to approach you when in your mind you're ready for us to approach you, not just because we can approach you. Just you have to telepathically communicate with us that you're ready for us.
Exactly.
That's some BS, man.
Yeah, nobody's reading your mind, man.
No one wants to read your mind. Golly, like, who is that important that you need to read their mind? Get out of here. So yeah, when you go to the gym and a guy wants to hit on you, first of all, you might be dressed in a way that he was already thinking about you in ways that you don't want him to think about you. So that's one thing. Secondly, the kind of guys that approach you, oh, right? Wait, isn't that something? The guys that approach you are the guys that you attract. The guys that you attract are attracted because they see something on you that they're attracted to. Right? So when guys are like, oh, well, like, these women are dressed this way, and the women are like, no, we're not. We can dress however we want. And then they get the guys that are attracted to that, and then they end up being ghosted, dumped, played, cheated on. You hear these problems come up everywhere. Oh, we've been dating for 6 years and he's not serious. He wants to, probably because he was attracted to you for the wrong reasons in the first place. So when you go to the gym and a guy approaches you, first, make sure that you're dressed the part. Secondly, don't act stupid. Thirdly, learn how to communicate with people. Learn relationships, right? If you do that, you'll be able to filter out a really good guy in no time at all. But these women just want to look like they're wearing lingerie everywhere and then expect a guy that respects everything about them to come along. Nah, you're gonna get those freak boys, man. The guys that don't give a crap about you.
Whoop.
All right, let's get it.
How come some blind people wear sort of shades and some don't?
Some blind people have some changes in the appearance of their eyes. They might go cloudy or, have different bits and bobs going off.
Right.
Like my eyes blink a lot. I don't know if you noticed.
That's got you in trouble a little bit, hasn't it? Like,
What's staring?
yeah.
Yeah, but blind. Obviously, I don't really know where I'm looking a lot of the time, unless I'm talking to someone. I know that I'm talking to you, so I'm trying to look in your direction.
Right.
Yeah, I was in a gym.
I've
I
heard
was in
this
a
story.
gym.
Have you heard this, Stevie?
I think I saw the TikTok.
It's so good. Can you share it with us?
Yeah, so I was doing my exercises like a good gym lad, and my eyes just, when I'm concentrating, especially, they will just fall wherever they want to. So yeah, I was just staring straight ahead, and unfortunately there was a woman doing some exercises. Don't know what she was doing, whether it was like some squats or whatever, where you might be in a.
One quick second, man. When have you ever heard, unfortunately, there was a woman doing exercise? How crazy is that line?
Either
Yo.
I'm not trying to say he's lying, but if he is, he's doing an excellent job
You're doing great, man.
at playing his part.
You sure
But I had
is.
no idea. I had no idea that there's a type of blind that like blinks a lot, that you could still see but can't focus at the same. Like I never heard of that type described.
Well, what he described about, like, he doesn't know where his eyes are looking, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he still has all
Like
the
what? Yeah, like if he could see a little bit, but then still don't know where his eyes are going and stuff like that. Is that what he's is that what he's saying?
So basically, he said that he can't really see. It sounds like most of the time he can't see. Maybe unless he's like, looking a certain way at you or touching you or something. Like there's all kinds of different levels of blindness. But I think
Dang.
he can control his eyes, but his eyes can't see. So it's dude, that could weird some people out. Cause that's one of the things that isn't really talked about is blind people and the different kinds of because sometimes you see those blind people with the gray eyes, like it's all hazed
Yeah,
over.
that's the one that I know. Like the ones with the
Yeah.
regular eyes, I'm like, stop. Hey, what you? It's kind of
Yeah,
strange. But
it
the one
is.
with the gray eyes, is like okay, I can visibly see you can't see.
Yeah. The ones with the eyes that you can't really tell, usually all they can see are like dark moving things, like just shadows. They can't really see. Yeah, you can just see movements and dark figured stuff. So that might
That's
be
scary.
his thing. I know. You live with that your whole life. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm just imagining like, what if they see like, can you see in other things? Like, what if there's like some kind of spirit or something that they could see, but there's nobody in the room or whatever? The heck, I don't know.
Dang. Yeah.
I question that.
Yeah.
More vulnerable position, maybe.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stared at. So, yeah, you might be in a more vulnerable exercises. Don't know what she was doing, whether it was like some squats or whatever, where you might be in a more vulnerable position, maybe.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stared at. So, yeah, she came over to me, and I didn't know she was talking to me at first because I was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just doing my thing. And
Yeah.
said something along the lines of, "Why do you keep staring at me? Stop! Like, don't be so creepy." I was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm blind." Had my cane with me. It was folded up on my lap.
Yeah.
And yeah, she wasn't having any of it. There's a culture, isn't there, around trying to catch out gym creeps, which I mean,
Yeah.
fair enough. We don't want any creepy behaviour anywhere.
But how is she not having any of it when you've literally got a cane? Like if you,
My disguise, mate, so I can stare at women.
I mean, that is if you're a pervert, right?
Yeah.
That is you're the most
Pervert?
committed pervert in the world.
Yeah, literally. That's wild, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
No, so I don't know, maybe she just didn't clock it. Maybe she was just
Pervert.
really angry or uncomfortable at the time and didn't clock it, didn't believe it, wasn't having it.
Yeah.
Thought it was my water bottle, I don't know. Something like that. Who knows?
like a frube.
Yeah.
Like one of them alcoholic tube shots you get. Like, it's the most inconvenient shaped container for a drink I've ever seen in my life. So did that escalate?
Yeah, she said she'd go and get the manager. I don't think she ended up getting the manager because it was a really, really young girl, by the sounds of it.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, she just, I think she got backed into a corner a bit by this woman and asked me to leave. I was like, I'm literally blind.
Sticker Mule's production process.
Dang.
And I wasn't as confident.
They asked you to leave?
Yeah, they got me out of there.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was in a different.
Stupid, huh? Stupid. He could. Oh, you'll hear this part.
Place. So the gym I go to now, I've got a really good relationship with all the staff. They know me. Everyone in the gym knows me as, he's the guy with the cane. Keep out his way.
Yeah.
But this was a new place I've never been to. I'd gone with a friend who was doing exercises down the other end of the gym, so I didn't see any of this happening. And yeah, so this young gym worker, just said, sorry, can you leave? We can't have other people being uncomfortable.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you ever go back there?
No.
Oh,
No.
good.
I wouldn't. Well, I got loads of comments on this video being like, sue. It's not really a British thing, is it, to sue? It's more American.
No.
But I feel like there would be a case there. I've had some lawyers reach out to me as well, being like,
Really?
representing.
Hey, the lawyers see money. That's what they
Yes,
see.
Yes. He
Shoot.
that's the part I was talking about. He just said that's not really a British thing to sue. I'm like, what? You mean to tell me that an employee is mismanaging your business by kicking people out?
Hold on, wait. I can't hear you no more.
You can't hear me? Uh-oh. Okay. Well, we can hear him still. Guys, we were troubleshooting before we got on here. So, hopefully the technical issues.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Continue.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, you have an employee mismanaging your business, kicking people out unnecessarily. That calls to be sued, because suing someone or suing a business is saying I was improperly treated based on the policies that they have. I was accused of something that I wasn't doing, right? Because this isn't just a small accusation. If he goes to a different gym and say that gym communicates with this gym or something, it could be like, hey, he's like a sexual lion. He will grab all these women even though he's pretending to be blind. That's a huge issue. I think that's one of the things that you are
big.
It's huge, man. It's huge. This dude's just trying to live his life, work out. Maybe it might be good to put some shades on, to give a better indication.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. But
yeah,
because
there are actors out there that probably do this, And what if she experienced one of the fakes, and she think he fake it?
Yeah. See.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think it was right at all. I also don't think he should say it's a British thing not to sue. Shoot, I'll go live in Britain for 30 years and start suing people if they start doing me wrong like that. It's not. It's a people thing. It's not necessarily a British thing. I know. I've known of some stories where people should sue companies and they're like, nah, forget it, because it takes a lot of money to sue.
Yeah, man, that's what they don't let you. I mean, everybody else, oh yeah, I'm gonna sue you. All right, but you gotta have money for the lawyers, especially the right ones, to make sure you get the bag.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't cheap. So if you got a good, I don't know what kind of deal they do. Oh yeah, you could pay us this because we know we're gonna make that from the deal. Then they might work with you, for a low price up front, and then get the back end stuff. I don't know how they do it, but you gotta make sure you could afford it, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Yep. All right, there's that video. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm. This one is interesting. The one I've been moving to for the last, because, I do think I've experienced this whether or not I played a role or experienced somebody that has played one of these roles in at some point in the life that I've lived so far. And then from afar, you do see this happen um, in the, I guess, the Christian community, right? There's always these on fire new people that come in and that they want to be holy of holies. Like they want to
Mm-hmm.
holy, they want to speak holy, they want to walk holy, like they want to listen to everything holy. They gotta pray 5 times a day before they eat. Like you have those, and then you have the ones. So this video is gonna kind of like give you different, I guess, the 3 points of types of people, and Ruslan here is gonna uh kind of pair them up when it comes to the faith life. And so let's begin.
Let's get it.
Triangle may be where you're at. Okay, this is going to cut deep, but listen to me, Linda, listen to me. The first step in overcoming a problem is first admitting you have a problem. And I discovered this in my personal life several years ago, and I think this is going to be a discovery that some of you guys make for the first time today, and it might set you free. All right, let's jump right into this clip. Check this out.
To help us understand how conflict arises between
Turn this up.
people,
Shout out
often
to my man
dramatic or-
CP, the artist, for sending me this. All right.
This is a model to help us understand how conflict arises between people, often in dramatic or intense relationships or interactions. And it was conceived by a guy called Stephen Cartman in 1968. And it involves 3 different roles. One that's kind of called a one-down role, and 2 that are called one-up roles. These 3 roles are the victim, the rescuer, and the persecutor. And I think understanding how these roles work can really help us to identify how we could be resolving potentially destructive interactions that are quite draining on our energy. So let's start with the victim role. And I think the victim role is quite self-explanatory. It's the person who feels helpless.
So this is talking about the drama triangle, and this is specifically pointing out to something called codependency. Now, why is this important? Because a lot of you guys are followers of Jesus, okay? And those of us that are followers of Jesus tend to think we have our issues figured out. We think we have our things settled. And so what happens is you start following into the rescuer.
Another role in this drama triangle is the rescuer. And this person is someone who takes responsibility for other people's problems. And they kind of make it their own problem. But at the same time, they
Pause right
take a
here.
look at their own life, which could in fact be
Pause.
Do you the rescue, have you either experienced this personally, of you being like this, or seen or know someone that's like this, or have you seen it from afar? This role, have you seen the rescuer type role before?
Yeah, I've done it.
Mm.
And I've seen other people do it. It's cringy when you see other people do it because you know exactly what's going on. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, one question about when you were doing it. Was it early on in your walk?
That's the problem, though.
Or-
It was later.
Mm.
I guess I want to understand what rescuer means. Like, say, like, oh, you have a problem. Like, you need Jesus, basically.
Yeah, like trying to get them saved. Like, being aggressive in that regard, as if you can actually, like, you're trying to take that responsibility of saving a person, type of thing. Almost like you're being their savior.
Not that I can remember, but I'm sure it's happened. So most recent example where I think I handled it more maturely is I was trying to have a conversation with someone who was saying Christianity is all this hypocritical, ignorant, stupid stuff. And I was like, hey, dude, I get it that you think this is what Christianity is, but have you actually sat down and spoken to someone who believes this through and through? And the person was like, yes, I have. I went to church all my life. I know you people. I know how you are. And I was like, but wait a second. Let's take a step back and let's actually look at this scripture. What does this scripture say? And is this true? And the person just wouldn't understand the fact that these Christians that he's experienced who basically gave him PTSD about Christianity are not genuine Christians based on what they do. But here's what a genuine Christian actually believes. And for the life of me, that veil of curtain was just over his heart. Like he just wouldn't understand it. And it went on for a minute. And it was just like, all right, dude, I think it's time to part ways as friends, because it came to a point where he was insulting me. He was actually making fun of Christianity, whereas no Christian has ever done that to someone who isn't a Christian, as in like, oh yeah, you're stupid because you don't believe in Jesus, and you know, you guys think the world came from nothing. Oh, idiots. No, we don't do that. But what we do is like, you have an issue, like here's a solution. So that was just an example, but I've done it. I've done it for sure. And the funny thing is, I wasn't even a practicing Christian to the most genuine degree when I was doing this. So, you know, I think that has something to do with it too.
So you would say you really tried to rescue him, or did this just come into, or did this just become a conversation? Cause I think the rescuer might be more of the finder. Like, okay, where is somebody that I can save? Like, cause I think we this example could be in those, you know, not everybody, but some street preachers,
Mm,
you know, they try to like rescue everybody, you know, Jesus is coming, and this, that, and the third. And
yeah,
I think those are the more extreme sides of it, and like how people just try to stop people and do that. I
yeah.
think I would categorize them as the rescuers in my head.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
more so like that, the ones that are going out and like being aggressive with the message.
yeah,
Yeah, I think yours, the way that yours sounds, don't sound like that, and what I would categorize it.
yeah. I think mine was more conversational.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
sound like.
yeah. I was trying to make it like, because I don't want to rescue anyone. I don't have the power to rescue anyone, and I knew that going into the
Mm-hmm.
conversation. So I wasn't trying to rescue, you know, the person.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, and you asked me a question.
yeah. What about you? Have you been a rescuer or perceived a rescuer?
Yeah, at one point in time I was, and this is this is at a time frame where it was early on. You know, I think a lot of people early on are, you know, you. I think there's a category of new believers when they come on, they get hot. You know, oh, I gotta do it. I was the one that was like, I gotta do everything right in all categories. Eat good, everything. You know, I couldn't let my eyes see nothing crazy, even though I still saw crazy stuff all the time. I couldn't let music go inside my ear that wasn't that wasn't whatever, a Christian song, whatever it may be. Like I was very like that. I was, but the rescuer part, I was at a certain degree, but then as I learned, I didn't, you know, what? Cause I was trying to be the savior as in some degrees, but when I learned how it works properly, the rescuer thing died off. It was a phase.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Because when you come to Christ, and like it becomes apparent to you what sin really is and what it looks like, you're like, oh shoot, I need to tell people about this. Oh my gosh, like you're screwing up, bro. You're screwing up, and it comes off as like, bro, calm down, man. Chill out, man. Like stop, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. By the way, I watched a video last week on this dude talking about lust, and it's interesting
Oh,
because he he
oh,
he made it. He said it in a way that never thought of it. The Sermon on the Mount, when Christ was giving the Beatitudes, he said, essentially, you have sinned if you look at a woman and lust after her in your heart. That means, or what that doesn't mean, is you can't look at women at all, right? Because he said if you look at a woman and
yeah,
lust, that means you can look at a woman and not lust for her in your heart.
yeah,
So, say you go to Publix and you see a very curvaceous, bombacious,
Yeah.
blast.
Brontastic.
Yes, all
You
kinds
know what I
of,
mean?
all kinds of,
Bumpy.
yes, bumpy turbulence, and you look at her, and you don't lust after her, right? You look
Yeah.
at her and you say, "Oh, she's a blank looking lady." That is the goal of a Christian, is to be able to look at people and not lust after people. If you see the most attractive woman in the world and you see her and you look at her and you're like, wow, God created women to be very beautiful to men. Thank God for that, right? It's supposed that appreciation about them is supposed to point you to God. But if you're not a Christian, if you don't believe in God, it can't point you to God. It can only point you to your lusts, essentially. So the Beatitude wasn't condemning you from ever looking at women. It was condemning what you do from looking at the woman in your heart. And that was a turning point for
Yeah.
me. That was a big,
And I
because, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that's a good thing to point out because yeah, like it's like when you see a big guy in the gym, like oh shoot, that guy huge, that guy, you know what I mean? And then like a bodybuilder that's nicely sculpted, oh his he got he look ripped, because some people that are buff are like
Exactly.
puffy and watery, but if you see one that's but you see one that's ripped and sculpted, you see all the striations and say, oh shoot, that dude, yeah, that dude is he's been in the he did a good job, or whatever. Like it's the fact that you see something and you appreciate uh how it is. You know what I mean? Like, oh wow, like he's actually really tall. And you're not lusting necessarily, but it's just observation,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And to, because there are those Christians that will see a woman and say, avert your eyes, don't look at women. You're not supposed to look at women. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like if she's wearing some kind of short shorts, do not look at a woman because you will lust after her. But it's like
Yeah.
you're supposed to be able to look at those things and not lust, but you also have to be careful because you don't want to
You gotta be
expose
careful.
yourself to
Yeah.
things. Yeah, that could really tempt you to to lust. Like you don't show up at a bikini party as a guy
Yeah,
for
yeah.
what?
And then like it's like because certain things happen and you can't control it. But if you go to that environment, okay, you go in there. But if you go to the store and somebody walks in with a bathing suit, um, it's like what can you do about that? You know what I mean? Like they're there, and if they pass by you, okay, boom, keep on walking. But of course, if you turn around, if you come around, uh, and look and stuff like that, that's a little different. And now you think about something else, perhaps. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's continue.
A complete mess. And they'll see people who might be going through a difficult time and think, oh, look at that person. They need help. I'm nice, so I'll help them. Or maybe something a bit more parental, like if that person did what I said, they'd be happy.
Awesome. This is someone that is this called a savior complex. There's somebody that got the Messiah complex. They think they're gonna save everybody, right? And so when you get saved, you start wanting to save other people, not understanding that you are not anyone's redeemer. You are not anyone's savior. Kendrick told y'all he is not your savior. All right, go ahead.
It's everything you wish for. Your sight. Be careful what you.
And I think the dynamic that we often see play out between the victim and the rescuer is something that we see in movies and romantic comedies all the time. It's something that we almost think is normal, but it really is an unhealthy interaction. So the third.
You see it in romantic comedies, you think it's normal, but it is not normal. All right, and this is. Another way to describe this is you're trying to fix people. Now, here's the thing. The rescuer and the victim need each other. They have a codependent relationship. It's symbiotic. One person needs to be rescued. The other people needs to feel like he's doing the rescuing. This is
a sickness. The highest order.
Go ahead and play it.
Third role in this triangle is the persecutor. This is a person who is frustrated. They're kind of self-righteous and a bit of a bully. And they might think things like, they're wrong and I'm right, and they need to do what I say. Or that person will get what's...
You
Yeah.
want to say something?
Oh yeah, this is like the and see in the faith we see this type of bullying all the time, by prophets. There's certain so-called prophets that be saying like making their word the word. You know what I mean? Like their word is absolute, and like they're prophets like that, and they're even. I think of the people that go out on the streets and are like saying, hey, because we know like there's a lot of examples out there that are in video where people that are calling themselves Christians are like attacking people and calling people out and being so like I guess see, and that's where that reflects on maybe how they read the word. Like they read it and they take it literal, and they pick it and they're in an extreme with it because they think that it's pleasing God if they do that, and they think that perhaps that's the only way to do it because God said, go out and make the sound or whatever. They take something and then they go and then they turn it to 1,000 degrees, to make it hot. And so the prosecutor, we see that in quite a few forms. I think there's the prophecy form where somebody tries to make their word absolute and say, hey, this is how the Lord told me to tell you to do it, and this is how you need to obey. And then there's the other one where it's like God is coming, you gotta stop being this, stop being that. You vipers, like they quoting scriptures that that Jesus said, and they using it like, man, what's going on here, man? So that's very and that's where a lot of people get distaste from Christians is the prosecutor types.
Yeah.
The prosecutor types, everybody don't like those. I don't even like those because they tend to even get the brothers in faith.
Right.
And of course we need to be able to call each other out and help each other get better. But the way they do it is distasteful. They don't do it with love. They do it with a certain authority that I don't think they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I have to agree with that. Those people, when I see them now, though, are funny to me. It's funny.
Oh yeah, at this point,
It's comedic.
at this point, I'm like,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Coming to them. Another thing that's really important to recognize about this triangle is that each of these roles move between each other. So, the rescuer can become the persecutor, or the persecutor can become the victim, or the victim can become the persecutor. So they all kind of move around. So let's take it by looking at each role again. So in the one down victim role, we need to become a survivor. In order to do this, we need to think like a problem solver and ask ourselves questions like, what do I want? And what steps can I take to get what I want?
Hey, you want to see something kind of crazy? Over 75%. I'm going.
On the good things that are going our way.
So she said go from a victim role to survivor. Right? And if you think about people, we talked about going full circle to the conversation we had about little ones that are moved around. I can't say the word, but folks that overcome SA are called survivors, right? We don't say victims. We say survivors. And so the more you can see
actual abuse.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. SA.
I overcame something, unless see yourself as a victim that something was done to, the more your own psychological state is going to improve. Wow.
We can make a note of it in a calendar or a diary. Ask ourselves
questions. This is why
questions.
prayer journals are important. A lot of you guys are praying, kind of throwing random things, forgetting about what you prayed for. But when you start documenting the things you're praying for, you start writing out, hey, I'm praying for X, Y, and Z to happen. And then you go back a year from then and see God actually does X, Y, and Z in your life, right? It's important to document. I mean, how much of the Old Testament is God just reminding the children of Israel, I am the God of Abraham. I am the God of Moses, right? I took you out of the land.
Can I pause?
We are so quick to...
Yeah. This encouraged me to continue journaling and writing down stuff like goals, whatever, because I've had some goals that I've written down in the past, and I look back on it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. I done got some done, and some of the goals were hard to come by. that I thought would be challenging, and they were challenging, just like I thought, but it happened because I put in the work and I continued to pray. You know what I mean? So and it's encouraging to see how far you've grown if you have certain goals of that nature. You know, so I find that it is valuable to you know do journal. Yeah, I find that valuable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forget. And so just documenting the things that are going on that God is for you will oftentimes remind you of that. And so I kept a prayer journal for a very long time, and it was one of the most helpful things I've done.
Questions like, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for today?
Yes.
Or at the end of each week, we could ask ourselves, what did I achieve this week? So let's move on to the rescuer role again. If this is where you tend to find yourself sitting, you need to think of yourself as a teacher or a coach rather than as a rescuer. You need to remember the golden rule about teaching a man to fish.
Pause it.
So
This is why I scaled over. This is why I am not a great guy to sit there and counsel people. The way I tried to do it, it didn't work. It was not helpful because I couldn't switch. And the more boundaries I built, the better of a teacher I became, the better of a coach I became, and less of a rescuer. I got to fix everybody's problems, right?
They say money can't buy happiness. You made a great video.
You gonna say something?
I mean, we could finish it out because it's almost done. And
It's
then,
almost done. Yeah.
Yeah.
the person in ways to identify and solve their problems rather than rushing in to solve it for them. You can ask them things like, what is it that you want to see happen in this situation?
Yes.
Or what do you think you can do to change this? Also, you need to make sure that you set boundaries. Setting boundaries around the time that you're able to listen to the person and letting them know that is really important. In some ways, it's a similar situation with the starting gate persecutor, who, like the rescuer, puts themselves in this sort of one-up powerful position. The difference is, with this role, is that you need to become a challenger. You need to be firm but fair in your approach to people. And to help the person recognize how you're feeling, you need to sort of address the consequences of their actions and set
Yes.
boundaries. So, for instance, you could say something like, if you keep your side of the agreement, I can keep mine. As with a rescuer, it's important to remember to set these boundaries and recognize that this isn't your problem to solve.
That's good. Shout out to Tom. He said something really good in the chat. He said,
Yeah. So have you had experience with each of these type of roles? You think?
Oh man, that's a good question. Let me go back to the video. So I'm looking at the diagram. So we got,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Got rescuer, persecutor, and then I think survivor or victim.
Yeah. Never been a victim. I'm actually
Yeah.
like anti-victim in my personal mind. I cannot be a victim. I can't. My mind won't let me do it.
Yeah, I will let you.
It's
Wait,
very
ooh.
interesting.
Have you ever been a victim of a situation? Like, have you ever been like, man, I'm so in a bad spot. Lord, why? What about that one?
Oh Lord, please. Oh no.
Yeah.
No. I haven't.
So through all the hard times, it never came like that.
If you're in a difficult position, two things, and this is how I think. I know this is not how everyone thinks, so it's understandable. It's something that I learned from my mom and developed in my own way. So I'm taking accountability for how I think, but how I think is different. So two things: if you're in a really bad situation where you could be categorized as a victim, one, you did this to yourself to put yourself in this situation, or two, bad things happen to everybody and you can get through it. You're gonna get through it eventually. What is the point of whining and complaining about it now? That's how my mind thinks. So does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Um the thing that I'm probably closest to is probably in between the rescuer and persecutor, because I've learned to not persecute people by asking questions. And it's interesting she said that, by asking questions, and I have learned to not rescue people by understanding that everyone makes their own choices. So if I ask you a question and you let me know what your answer is based on what you want to do, and I've given you what I want to give you, that's it. I'm done. My work is done. Finito. What about you?
Yeah, that's interesting because you know, we definitely I think at some degree we definitely can be prosecutors. Um and there was a point in time like just like I told you earlier on, and it's to a lower degree now, but earlier on it was like, oh man, look at this person. They're this and that because I see it. You know what I mean? And so we're quick to make conclusions, or let's say judgments, right? Oh, this person is going to X, Y, and Z because look at them. Look what they're doing. Why? Bad them. They need to blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that myself. So I was like, what's this, man? I don't want to be like that guy, but I'm doing that stuff that he doing, and at some level. And but at this day and age, I am not. I don't. I wouldn't say I'm a prosecutor. I still now. We obviously see things and we make judgments still, but
Yeah.
I'm not prosecuting people. I'm not being like, oh, they're gonna be, if they keep living like this, obviously they're not gonna end up in the right spot. But what I'm saying is that I don't say in my mind, oh, they're done or whatever. Well, now when I look at people doing things that aren't right, aren't good, you know, I don't say that it's good, but I know there's hope for them if they can know the truth about it, and if they can get some direction on it, they could change what's going on. Um, the rescuer, I think I'm more of a rescuer. You know, that leads me to want to help. So since I don't prosecute people, be like, oh, you're not, it's no hope for you. I'm like, nah, there is. Let me show you, right? So I think I'm more of a rescuer. And at first, it was more prosecutor rescue, like, hey, stop, and here's why, But now it's, oh shoot, hold on, he's dying right now, or he's being deceived, or let me see if I can learn where he is, and based on that, I might be able to plant some seeds. And just like
Yeah.
you said, after you say what you say, you don't got to worry about it. 'Cause I think we do, like for me, I did worry about or whether or not it was gonna blossom into a tree,
Exactly.
and like I tried to do, I tried to make sure things happen and and I tried to make sure I saw the change in some way. But I'm like, not, but now that I've learned up to this point, I'm like, well, I don't gotta do all that because ultimately, you know, we have our part to play and God has his part. So when you do your part, you gotta believe and trust that God's gonna do his part. And so that's what I'm more doing now. Is like when I tell somebody something that's good that I believe, you know, I just do that part, and I don't try to pester them or try to keep track, to the T on did what I said the thing that did it. You know what I mean? Because then I'm worried about something that I don't need to be. You know.
Yeah. One little quick thing, and then I'll be done. People oftentimes get annoyed with Christians because they think Christians are these people that bother you, want you to be like, hey, are you saved? You're gonna die in your sins. Are you saved? Like, let's get saved, man. Let's pray. And it's understandable, but those kind of approaches are done by people with certain kind of character. And here's another example that would make sense to you. Whenever you get on YouTube and you want to watch a video, you want to do your own business, and that ad pops up. Here are 15 ways that you are misspending your money and you can increase your bank account. Skip. Done.
Yeah.
You're finished, man.
Yeah, man.
What are you doing?
They used to get my attention, but I know at this point, all of them just want you to go to their course and get and purchase their thing.
Bro, oh, if you go to this website, I will reveal to you the top five
free.
things for free.
Top 5 for free, and then you realize that for free, it's like they give you one thing, and then you gotta sign up to get the last 4.
Yes, they don't even give you one thing. They tell you how they're gonna tell you. They tell you all the fluff. Here is why this first thing that I'm gonna tell you is so important. Are you not gonna tell me? I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you because you're not prepared to receive it. So what am I doing here, man?
Sure you do. Make sure you do this first before you get to the course, because when you read this, you're gonna understand and you're gonna know how all 5 points connect. And it's like, bro, what are we? You never get to, and then when you get the course, you gotta get another one that actually give you what they said from the beginning.
Yeah, you have to get all 5 courses to get the first point.
And listen, and I know this because I fell for it. I have bought a course before.
We all have, man. We all have, bro.
I was like, okay, let me see. He sounds different. You buy it, they never get to the main point, bro.
Never.
Never, and about time they get to the main point, you $5,000 in, and they hooking you up with people that, an advisor. It's always like some kind of person that's gonna walk you through. Yeah, we're gonna hook you with one of the advisors. They're gonna walk you through to make sure you're successful, bro. It just gets deeper and deeper into your pockets.
Yes, yeah, it's a very good scheme, and that's what Christianity, people that come off as persecutors, they come off as. You know what I'm saying? They're all up in your face, bro. I'm just trying to live my life, man. I'm just trying to live my life. You know, it's one of the hardest things with people nowadays because you got the alphabet community, right? Everyone's like, you have to stop doing this. Have you spoken to your friend that smashed 3 girls last week? Have you talked to him about how needs to be saved or else he's gonna go to hell? You know, like we hyper focus on stuff and like we forget all about all of the other, like we just forget about love and just planting the seed and letting the Lord water it, or other people. Like it is, I don't know, man. So yeah, it's a good video. This is every Christian at some point in their walk.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, man, this would be a good one to share because definitely I see myself in at least 1 or 2 of them, and I know, like you just said, like everybody are like, some people come to Christ and they're like, oh yeah, my life is terrible, and they want to and they're victimizing themselves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so so you start. I think you start from somewhere, if not exact point, somewhere in between. You know, I think it's somewhere you start up, and you know, a lot of them go to extremes, and we see the extreme ones. We have a lot of examples, and that's the unfortunate thing, is that when people see the extreme versions, they think everybody's like that. And spoken to a lot of people in the past that believe, oh yeah, all Christians are this and that. And I'm like, well, that's not true. And you know, it's unfortunate, but that's the distasteful part that people always, you know, run to. Is that,
you know, what's interesting? Christians, it's not Christians who are like this. You become a Christian with that kind of personality. So people think Christianity is what makes you the victim, persecutor, or the rescuer. No, you come into that like that, and you mature out of that. Because as we're growing, we're maturing out of those things. It's because we came into it with all of our baggage and stuff, and one by one, you know, God is taking these things out of us and allowing Christ to live through us. So yeah, this isn't a Christian issue. This is a people issue, right? And we mature when we come in, like, come as you are, right? And people need to get that. People need to stop, you know, Christians are this, Christians are that. Well, we were people before we were saved. So there's that too.
Yeah.
You got anything else for us?
Hey, that is it, man. I wish that we could have one day we're gonna have a studio. One day we'll have a studio. at some point to where we're not having technical issues because we were having technical issues before this. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm looking at two different screens, the monitor and the laptop. So when y'all see my eyes moving back and forth because I'm looking at two different screens. But shoot, I hope you guys enjoying the live, man. Let us know if you have certain things you want us to watch and then react to. You know, we can do that on here. I definitely, like I said, I can't wait till we get a studio in the future. So then we have a nice setup like Ruslan. Ruslan's setup is, amazing. And then also I want a soundboard too. I want a soundboard for like certain,
You're over
effects
here making your wish list.
and certain soundboard. Hey, anybody got a soundboard? Make a donation to the channel, holyduo@gmail.com. Hook us up or whatever. Hey, but yeah, have we checked our email in the past 2 years?
Yeah, any email that we get will come to my phone. So in the past 2 years, really, man, you don't play us like that. Come on,
I'm
man.
just joking.
Don't play it like this. But yeah, no, I see the email. So if anyone sends us anything, I'm on top of it.
So you're right.
Yep.
Shoot, that's all I got.
Hey man, thank you guys for coming out. For coming out to see us. Yeah, we did a concert today. Thank you guys for joining a live stream today. Appreciate you guys. Remember to send your videos. Do the thing with the like, comment, and subscribe. We want to hear from you. And we will see you guys on our next live stream. Peace.
Live.